Now let's try to understand for a data science project, or a if you somehow is let if you're doing some job for some company and you are interested to build some machine learning projects onto it, then what kind of steps you have to follow? Let's see it step by step. What kind of thing we have to acquire to build a machine learning project? So when we discuss the various projects and real world case study, then we will see its real life applications. But let's now see one by one. So first step that we have to know very clearly, understanding the what is our business requirement. That's the thing first we have to know. We have to understand these things very clearly. Okay, we have to first the thing, we have to understand the business requirement. We have to first, we have to understand it very clearly. Understanding means I'm talking about what is the problem that we have to solve. Means first the thing is defining the problem. Defining the problem. This is one thing. Another step that we have to need, we have to understand the what is the requirement of our customer. Like these kind of things. First we have to clear about these things before starting the any projects. So what is the requirement? Of a customer? Okay, this type of problem first we have to face and we have to understand very clearly and very deep. If need, you need to take 1 to 2 weeks. You have to spend 1 to 2 weeks. We have to spend to understand these things. We have to visit our real work area. We have to discuss this problem in various group of employees to our companies. That's the first step we have to take. Now, after understanding the business problem, the second step that we have to take, we have to acquire the data. Means we have to acquire the data that's actual needed data to our particular business problem. So data acquisitions step we need. Data acquisition. Okay, in data acquisitions, to acquire the data, when we discuss the real world case study and when we discuss the various language like Python, MySQL, like that kind of language, we will see how to acquire the data. Okay, so there are various technique means fast and very elegant is ETL. ETL in full form it will be the extract, then transformation and load. Extract, transformation, and load. These three. And there are various SQL. When we learn the SQL query language, then you will see in SQLs there are various source of the data. Once it will be stored like a databases, or it will may be stored in a data warehouse, or it may be log files. There have some log files. By simply using the Python code, simple Python codes, you can acquire your data by using this log file. Okay, and today is very famous, and in nowadays it's very famous Hadoop or Spark databases. If you are a computer students guy, then I think you are already known about these things, how this data actually stored. But don't be confused. If you are not computer science background, please don't be confused. When we discuss the case study, then everything up to beginners to up to end level, we will discuss everything. Okay. So in the second step, that's kind of step we have to take. Now third step. In third step, in third step we have to, after accusing the data, in third step we will pre-process this data. Okay, now third stage it will be data pre-processing. Data pre-processing, we have to, data pre-processing means I am talking about data cleaning, data preparations, what kind of outliers we have, removing the outliers, what kind of different kind of data we have to find the different kind of type data. Means it's type of, means already we have seen this kind of thing in one of our sections. Okay, means I am here talking about the cleaning the data and data preparations. That's it. Like that. Already we have seen. This is the third step that we have to. Okay. Now, in fourth step we have to apply the exploratory data analysis. Simply EDA. Okay. Means we have to visualize the data. What kind of data that we have. After pre-processing step is done, we have to do this job. Exploratory data analysis. Okay, exploratory analysis means I am talking about the plotting the whole data that we have acquired, the visualizations, the data means hypothesis testing, that we have hypothesis, we have assumed some things. So we have testing these assumptions is actually correct to our data sets or not. So these kind of steps we have to taken in this step, hypothesis testing. Okay? And slicing the data, that's also important, using the to divide the data. This kind of means simple, we have to apply this kind of, already we have seen how to plot in Python language. We will learn how to plot. There are various kind of plots: histogram plot, probability density and functions plot, scatter plot, like various kind of plots there. And okay, and Disney, like that kind of PCA Disney, like that kind of things, we can visualize this data to simple converting higher dimensional data to a lower dimensional data. We have already learned these kind of things, and when we discuss the case study, then we will see how to perform the exploratory data analysis at this step. Okay, so in fourth step we have to do the job. In fifth step, after understanding this kind of data, we have to apply a right model onto it. Okay, we have to apply the right modeling. Means after understanding this data on this step, exploratory analysis, we have to apply a right models onto it, and after applying the right models, we have to evaluate it. How much these models is accuracy has been given apply these models to that particular data sets. So model applying the models, evolution, this kind of step. After evaluations, we have to interpret it. Interpretations is also an important role in this stage. Interpretation. Interpretations. Okay. So, so these are the steps are actually also there are very many steps. Actually, till now in machine learning scientists, machine learning engineers are mainly focused on this fifth step. But it's not a sign of a good machine learning. If you are a machine learning engineer or data scientist engineer, then all the steps you have to know, not only these steps. Okay. So in fifth step, we have to do this job. Now in sixth step, we have to communicate. After interpreting data, we have to after interpretations our model, we have to communicate our results to the other employees of our company. So we have to communicate our what are the results we acquire, what are the results we got, these kind of things we have to communicate. And always we have to in mind that our result must be clear and simple. Okay, must it will be clear and simple. That's thing. First thing that another thing is that our results it need not be there a huge text. So when reading some, actually you have to communicate your results on the non-machine learning engineers. They have know nothing about which models you use, what are the your EDA you are applying. Once they have know nothing, just they using your result based on these results, they will try to understand it. So you have to understand somehow for a non-technical guys. So it will be first thing, it will be most clear and simple. The second thing, they have to use more pictures to understanding these things. Pictures somehow it is videos or not more than text, not more text. It may be the text may be 1 page to 2 page maximum. Text may be 1 page, maximum 1 page, or it will be 2 page. Maximum informations are talking about pictures, videos, like that kind of things. Since our human minds are more visualization, if the through pictorial, actually our human mind is a pictorial mind. It will more understandable when you see the pictures, when you see some pictures or video. So because of this reason today, the YouTube is the second search engine in the world because of these reasons. And I think in next decades, YouTube is the most number one search. It will be the number one search in this India in the world. Okay, since our human mind is a pictorial mind, we are not. We actually when we reading something, that's our mind is feel boring. Okay, so because of these reasons, in our presentations we have to use more pictures and videos instead of text. So if you write your presentations, if you more text, then it this presentation skills is maybe boring and someone may not be understand what you are want to talking about. This kind of technique you have to you always in your mind. Okay, in sixth step that we have to remember. Now in seventh state, we have to deployment this stage. Then after communicate, we have to deployment. We have to deployment. How will deployment it? Simple. We have to use. We have to need the help of some software engineers, some software developers, engineers like that. Okay. So simple. We have to use here some engineering technique, some software engineering technique. We have to use this. How we will use? We have to need using the software engineers, software developers. We need to help. We need to help these guys to develop to productionize these models. Okay, actually, they will better understand in which applications, in which websites, in where it will be more fitted. Okay, they will better understand than you. So, in 7 stage, we have to apply this deployment. Means in this series we have we have learned how to deployment and productionize these models. So simple, this kind of jobs we have to do in these steps. Okay, after applying after applying the deployment, now next step we have to apply the real world testing. That putting our models on applications or on websites, we have to test it in the real world. So the eighth step, we have to apply the real world testing. We need it to testing our models, how much good or bad it is. So to real world testings, already we have learned the concept of the A/B testing, AAB testing, like that kind of thing we have to apply. Already we know this. Already we have learned this concept. How to testing our models, but it will be replaced by a old model, or our old model is better. We have learned already these things. When we discuss the case study, then you will see how to apply these things on a production board. So this is the sample real world testing. In real world testings, we have to apply. Okay. Now in ninth step, now in ninth step, we have to use these models to customers or business buying it. Okay. In ninth step, it will be customer or business buying. We have to apply. So after testing, everything is done. We have satisfied onto this step. Then we have to inspire our customer. We have to produce these models. We have to make the advertisements. That's okay. Sometime like this kind of a thing. Okay, means marketing strategy are actually taken here. Show these things. So these are the ninth step we have. Now after ninth step, in this step, in 10th step, we have to operations our model. Means after some times, or not all models are always good. They have some limitations onto it. Okay, so we have to retrain our models. We have to need it to handle what kind of failures we have. We have to process the more features onto it, like that kind of things. So since after everything is okay, it's may not correct, our model will be always better. So time to time it needs to operate it. So in 10th step, we have to operations. We need to operations our model. Operations means what will the retrain our model. Retrain our model. Maybe the handle what kind of failures we have facing, handling failures. And what are the process further step we have to take? What are the process? This kind of thing we need to. we need to apply on this step, on this operation step. Okay, in the end step. Now at the end, now after these operations, we have to optimize these things. How much cost we have to apply on it? How we will minimize this cost? These kind of optimizations. How we can minimize our human resources? How we can minimize our gadgets like this computer, like this kind of things. How we will minimize these things to perform our model? That's the next step that we have to maintain. Optimizations means what kind of improvement we need to for better output. Improvement our models, how to acquire more data for getting better output. So more data, it's also an important. Okay, more data. How to apply the more features on our models. Okay, more features to get or more accurate results to get more accuracy. So this kind of more features. And obviously we have to how we'll optimize our code, how we will optimize that can take minimum number of resources, that can optimize, that can minimize the cost of that productions. So optimize code, optimize code, cost, resources, this kind of thing we need to apply. So this is the, there have also various techniques. This is the main key steps that we have to maintain to build a production models end-to-end system at the start level to end level. This 11 stage have to mainly we have to maintain. Okay. So just recap it. First thing that we have to understand the what is our actual business problem. We have to understand business requirement. We have to understand the needed of the customer. What kind of customer we have to handle? What are the problem the customer faced? So this kind of thing we have to clear first. This is a very most important step in this data science. After this, after clearing this, we have to acquire data. What kind of data actually we need to solve this problem? So data acquisitions. There are various techniques on to acquire the data. When we discuss the case study, then we will learn. Now, after acquiring the data, we need to pre-process it. We need it to pre-processed. So means we have to clear the data. There are various raw data we have to need to clear. We have to pre-process it. We have to this kind of technique we have to apply on stage. After pre-processing the data, we have to apply the exploratory data analysis, EDA sample. You can think this is a like of EDA, exploratory data analysis. We have to apply it. Into what kind of data we have acquired, what is the visualization. If this data is more dimensions, then after minimizing the dimension, we have to visualize these things through plot. We have to testing our hypothesis something onto it, like that kind of to understand the data, to understand for the data for the further steps. Now, after understanding the data, we have to apply right models onto it. So today's we have seen that most of the guys have directly apply the neural network or deep learning, but the cost of the deep learning is so much. So sometimes there no need to apply the deep learning always. Some simple models, if we apply onto data, it will give much more accuracy results. So these kind of things we need to understand. What kind of models actually better? to give the a more better output to more better output in a low cost. That's the thing that we have to take. So because of these reasons, EDA step is more important to understand. Okay, so modeling, we have to model the data. We have to apply the perfect models onto it, which what will be the perfect models that will be fitted. Now, after fitted it, we have to evaluate these things and we have to interpret it. Why these models actually fitted? We need to interpret these things more clearly. Now, after everything is okay, up to step 5, then we have to communicate our results to the non-machine learning guys, to the other employees in a very clear and simple way that anyone, a 5 years kid also understand this thing. Okay, in a very clear. So because of these reasons, we have to apply more pictures onto it, more videos onto it. We have to maintain the less text onto it. Okay, this kind of thing we have to maintain on this. Now, after communicated it, we have to deploy our models. After communication, these things, we have to deploy our model to the software engineer guys, those who have clearly understand in which situations, in which time this model will be better to make online. It may be a applications, it may be a website like that. So to have to apply it means in this stage we have to online our models. Now after giving it, putting it in our applications or website, we have to test it. Actually, these models work well or it need to improve something. So testing it means we have already learned the A/B testing, AAB testing, like that kind of thing. Now after testings, we have to after the testing is okay, then we have to marketing these things. We have to make these things to our customers, marketing these models. Okay, so these are the actually marketing thing. So after this thing, we have to know what how to retrain this model. Since or not always a model is perfect, we need to retrain it time to time. We need to handle what kind of failure that we have to face. We need to process further step. Okay, that kind of things step we have. At end, we have to optimize. What cost we need to apply? How we will optimize this cost? How we will optimize our resources? How we will improve these models? How can acquire more data? How will apply more features onto it to get more accuracy on this model? This kind of thing we have to. If we maintain all this step, then you are great machine learning. Okay, so if you are a startup guy, then you have not so much human power on you. So all the step just in yourselves you have to do this thing. Okay, so then you will be a more concrete machine learning engineer. Okay, I think from these discussions you will got the idea how we will make some machine learning project. What is the steps onto it? When you discuss the various projects, various case study, then you will see these things, how these things are actually workable on the real world.